Hey YouTube, this is NJ4Wider5, and last update I kind of explained what was going on, my health issues, whatever. I'm still slowly getting up to par and still testing these Boston cells. A guy kind of mentioned in one of the comments that he would like to know more about the Boston cells. I'm still fairly new to them. I haven't really done too much testing except for what I've done at my own bench, and I can tell you one thing, that these cells are crazy. If you can get your hands on a few of these, the power that these little cells can give you, especially if you plan on using them for a power wall that you don't plan on, you know, over pulling, you know, too many amps or too many voltage or, you know, whatever. These cells are almost perfect. I printed out a sheet just real quick, just kind of explaining the cells that I actually got. I believe there's a red kind too. I haven't got my hands on one of those yet. I'm pretty sure they're the same kind of specs. The nominal capacity is 5300. Most of the cells that I've been testing have been averaging anywhere from 49 to 54, and that's only at a 1 amp discharge. And I know that's probably not, you know, what these guys are doing, because it looks like these guys are doing a 0.5 discharge, a 0.5C discharge, which is actually something like around 2.5 amps or somewhere around there. It looks like these are 19.3 watt hours in the energy. The nominal voltage is 3.65 instead of the normal 3.6. 23 milliohms, I guess it is, and that's at AC 1 kilohertz. I've been getting anywhere with the stuff I've been testing, you know, 39 to around 10. The cycles to 80% capacity is 1000 cycles. It looks like a standard charge would be at 0.7C at 3.7 amps. Constant voltage 4.22, 50 milliamps, so 4.25. Recommended fast charge is 1.5C or 8 amps. And looks like these things can get up in temperature to around 70C on discharge. Way too hot for me. Charge is around 60C, and the storage temperature, they like to keep it between -40 to 60C. At 1 amps, I'm getting at the hottest maybe 30C, maybe. Some of them don't even heat up, they just kind of stay room temperature. I guess the way I kind of did is I've taken them apart. I'm going to reuse these. What I found out is the way that these are shaped in these little awesome little holders. You can put them in there, all one side positive and all the other side negative. And I'm going to run these each as one pack. And I've decided that I'm going to also use these in my little power wall. The size compared to the other ones I'm going to be using is fairly close. I'm assuming they belong to the same type of machine. These are a little bit stronger than all of these, believe it or not. They might be kind of close, but that's the plan right now. You know, I'm gonna try to go with a Batrium once I get the cash. I figure that's probably the safest route, so that's kind of been put on hold. So I'm gonna do a lot of smaller projects I've had planned. Hopefully, as I feel better, I'll get to do more and more projects. I figure I just talk about the Boston cells right now. So hopefully this is not too shaky, but I'll show you what I got going on. These are all my charged. These are ready. I'm trying to keep them as fairly close to capacity as possible. And this was actually the one that was holding the cells I was taking from here and transferring right here. The Opuses, they're fairly slow. A full charge, discharge takes, man, I've been starting these early in the morning, and sometimes 2 or 3 o'clock at night they're still not done. So they take a long time with the Opuses. The one that I've got, the fan, the mod, it tends to work a little quicker than the others, but not by much. What I've noticed with the way that these are discharging, they seem to get around 3.3 and then they drop pretty quick. But anywhere from 3.3 to 4.2, they take their time, you know, going, I guess, discharging slower and slower, and that's at 1 amp. I'm assuming that as these get warm, I'm sure the amperage changes and whatnot. That's probably why this one is a little bit quicker, because of the fan mod. With the Lido Kala, it's pretty slow. I mean, I'm lucky. I'm real lucky if I can get a complete cycle out of there. So what I've been doing with that one is I'll put them in there fully charged and I'll let it discharge them. And typically with this, as slow as it is, it's still hours later before it's done. I'm assuming it's discharging at 0.5. With the X-Star Dragon, I've actually only been using the FAR 2, and that's so that I can put it at 2 amps. What I found out is I don't think it matters whether it's on 2 amps or 1 amp. These are going to discharge at 0.5. They charge quicker. I mean, that's a bonus. Like if I charge one of these compared to any of my other chargers, it charges about half the speed. So 2 amps is pretty good whenever you're charging these. And if I could get a discharge, I'm sure if I hooked up one of my Richter or one of my IMAXs, I could probably bump up the amperage and probably do it a little quicker. But this gives me time to kind of rest, just kind of chill. They kind of take a long time. I also broke out with my favorite machine, and what I've noticed is that with these, they tend to stay more at the 1 amp discharge, so they tend to discharge a lot faster than any of the other machines. Charge is still kind of slow, because it's only charging at 1 amp, but I get, I've been letting them charge here and then doing at least 4 to 5 of them on here, the rest on the Opuses and that. So that's basically all I really have, test wise. Usually with simple 18650s I can do a couple of passes, with the regular batteries a day, but with these Boston cells, they tend to take quite a long time. Right now I'm not really sure what the next item is up. I'd like to work on these, and I think this might be what I plan to do next after I clear off my desk. I still got kind of a big mess going on. I'm not sure if I explained these in my other video, but I was looking at purchasing just the boards online, and whenever I looked at the boards, they were averaging $40 a board, and I didn't want to pay $120 for the boards I needed. So I went to good old Easy EDA, and I kind of designed it, based on a few different designs I've seen out there. And I'm not that skilled yet at creating a protection circuit or anything, so I only went with simple balancing. It seemed that there was a guy that was using a 1M4001, a 5.1 ohm resistor, and a standard green LED, and that seemed to work out with enough voltage to give him 2.5 or 2.7, but he didn't like how fast or how slow that these were keeping charge. So he decided to go with the 2.7 volt Zener diode, and once he added that, he said the combination of the two seemed to keep everything in well check. And he said even though it was mainly using the Zener diode as the balance, he said the light came in handy, that it told him when each capacitor was fully charged. These are the capacitors I'm going to be using with these, and they fit. What I messed up though whenever I done these, the holes that I got the design for, I didn't like how big they were, because I didn't like how loose it looked like they fit. So I made mine kind of tight, so they barely fit in there, but they fit in there perfect, where I really don't got to add too much solder to get it to hold its voltage. But right now these tend to work. I also have these, and this is actually not my design. This I actually found another guy was doing like a potato gun or a potato robot or something along those lines, but the guy had created these boards, and this is where I actually got the I guess it would be the schematics for the capacitor. And I seen them and I thought they looked pretty neat, and I thought it couldn't hurt. I might as well just order me 10 of these. So I ordered 10 of these along with the other ones I ordered. After I populate, I'm going to populate 3 of these, and they're going to be in some kind of a parallel configuration and hopefully stacked. I tried to make sure that I made the, I guess these would be standoffs where they could be stacked, and the negative and positive would be combined on all of them. What I plan on doing with this, my last capacitor tab welder worked perfect. I love the welds I was getting from it. I couldn't have asked for anything better. The only problem with that one is you get to do one weld and then you have to wait for it to charge, and it's really not that big of a headache. But I'm the type of person that whenever I'm, you know, getting in the flow and tabbing my batteries, I like to make sure that, you know, I can continuously tab. So with having, you know, 3 of these at 12 volts, I'm thinking the highest voltage I'll ever really need is around 8 to 10, and this will give me plenty of capacity so that I could probably weld multiple times without having to worry about a charge. And, you know, more than likely I'm gonna leave it charging at the same time, so it'll probably recharge in between, and it should go fairly quickly and it should work fairly well. And that's just the plan. You know how that works. Once I get it together, it might not work and it might work great, so you never really know. Also, I got a couple of these. I found them fairly cheap at a local grocery store. I guess they were trying to get rid of them, so I bought me a few of these, and I figured I'd make myself a couple of those electronic guns. And I guess the Washington state laws just state as long as you're not using them on a school grounds or you don't shock a police officer, they're not against the law or something to that extent. Then, you know, I don't really plan on doing either. They're just kind of a how-to to make sure I can do it. You know, one of those, you know, don't try this at home kid thing, you know, DIY projects. I've got so many projects loading up. I mean, I've got batteries galore that I don't even know what to do with, but more likely they're going to be a part of the power wall. But, you know, they're just kind of, I guess, stocking up on me. I've got everything ready to go for my power wall. I just would like to have the bait room. Once I have the bait room, then I can get going. I also want to remind everybody that I have a little giveaway going on, and that was in my last video. I plan on doing I guess an update video probably within the next week or two, just to give everybody a chance to get in there. Just make sure if you're not subscribed, you subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, and that should give you a chance to win one of the 3 prizes. That's pretty much all I have for now. I guess if you have any questions or if there's something you'd like to see me do, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I will check you guys out in my next video.